Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. We are back once again to bring you a weekly recap, this time for Friday Night SmackDown, which took place on June 5th. This is fresh off the heels of Clash in Italy, quickly building towards the Night of Champions that is to take place at the end of June. And by doing so, of course, we are working on our King and Queen of the Ring tournaments that started on Monday, and two more matches we see tonight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into all of the happenings. We kick off the show with an upset Gunther, who is not happy with the way his title match with Cody Rhodes went down. He quickly grabs a mic after dismantling the Italian announce table, calls out Cody over his antics this past weekend. Cody, not one to back down from a challenge. If you recall, he's easy to find, has no issues with giving Gunther his rematch tonight, but someone that does have an issue with that, none other than Sami Zayn. Cody questions which version of Sami he's currently getting, but says he also deserves a title shot. Unfortunately, Gunther had enough of the talking and pushes Cody into Sami to end the cordial discussions. Gunther puts Cody in a sleeper, but Zayn does end up helping out this time. An interesting enough opening segment that probably could have gone several different, and still could go several different ways, but as it comes to light later on in the show, Gunther threatens Nick Aldis with his legal team, and they do end up getting him a title shot with a stipulation to be determined next week. So props to Gunther's legal team, I guess. Interesting way to go about that there. But regardless, Zayn, Cody, and Gunther all kind of in the mix here. So basically a lot of ways they could take that. So we'll have to wait and see what they do with that. The first match of the evening is yet another Queen of the Ring tournament matchup that pits up Raquel Rodriguez, Bailey, Fatal Influences, JC Jane, and Kiana James. Honestly, in my opinion, there's really not a bad winner here, and this is a very good match where all four women kind of get their own. The ending, however, comes with Kiana trying to use the ropes for a pin, but her feet get removed by JC Jane, to which she pays the price from Julia, but by the time Kiana turns around, she thinks it was Julia that was responsible for removing her feet. Perhaps she'll watch the tape later. But for now, Kiana has reached her breaking point, tells Julia after the match that their friendship is over. Some pushing and a takedown occurs before Kiana exits the ring, while Julia stands tall for now. Curious to see where they take that one, but the grand takeaway here being Raquel Rodriguez has advanced in the Queen of the Ring tournament, but boy, does she have her hands full in the next round with the Genius of the Sky herself, Io Sky. Looking forward to that matchup as well, but you have to feel like Raquel Rodriguez has been flirting with getting pushed up to that next level. Maybe, just maybe, this will be that time. The next match of the evening sees Royce Keys take on Tala Tonga of the MFT with both Solo and Tama on the side. A hard-hitting, albeit very quick match with Solo and Tama here, playing dividends as you might expect with any match involving the MFT. After the match, further damage is inflicted on Royce after the match until R-Truth comes out to assist, but ends up getting the same treatment that Royce did. Damian Priest then comes out to help his partner, and it really just feels like we've been doing this song and dance for quite some time now. I know it's not as long as it feels, but it does feel like basically ever since the MFT's feud with Wyatt 6 came to a screeching halt. They're just kind of in this weird kind of lull period. So interesting way to try to convince Royce here. We continue to see Solo kind of try to convince him that, no one else is advocating for you, but we will. So Royce didn't shut him down this time, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out going forward, or if we continue to kind of spin our wheels here. Before the next match, we do see a returning Chad Gable backstage. He appears to be humbled and apologizes to Rey Fenix, who is quick to accept, but also remind him that he's not the only one that's been wronged in the past. So, prompting that there are probably some more apologies to hand out. So, Chad Gable clearly appears to be going face this time, and hopefully he'll get his singles run that he's always deserved. And no matter the gimmick, maybe he just won't get one this time, because that dude hasn't made anything work, and clear after the last one, he deserves to be pushed to the sky. So looking forward to see what they do with him next. Our next match of the evening sees a banged up Rhea Ripley come out and declare that Jade problem has been officially laid to rest. Not long after that, though, Charlotte does come out and says, as much fun as it's been tagging with you, being Rhea, she deserves that title around Rhea's waist. Unfortunately, both the U.S. Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill also quickly joined the fray. Of course, Jade is joined by her backup dancers, as dubbed by Charlotte, Meechin, and B-Fab. Nick Aldis comes out to the ring with the assistance of Charlotte to help set up a tag match. Not a six-woman tag because of Rhea's current state, inability to compete, but instead we get Charlotte and Tiffany going 2-on-2 with Meechin and Jade. This match was all about Jade getting that momentum back that she lost at Clash in Italy, or at least, just a smidge of momentum perhaps, and does just that. She hits the U.S. champion with a Jaded and gets the win for her and Meechin. So, for much as Charlotte, I will say this, for much as Charlotte and Tiffany dislike each other, they had some pretty good chemistry here, but in the end, it wasn't quite enough to overcome Jade and Meechin. Our next match of the evening sees Carmelo Hayes and Ricky States going one on one. I've said it before and I will say it again, I'm sure. I could watch these two wrestle every week and wouldn't have any complaints. This week sees Carmelo Hayes getting pinned by the absolute Ricky Saints via a roll up pin, and that will officially even the score 1-1, a common trope used on the main roster these days. But the silver lining being this matchup is one I don't mind seeing again. And yeah, obviously these two guys clearly have chemistry. Ricky Saints, I think, has benefited tremendously. I felt like he was kind of stuck in a spot in NXT. I didn't feel like he was really making any progress. I feel like he's done leagues better since coming up to main roster, and so really looking forward to that. You could kind of tell. I think they knew they were going to have another match here, so they weren't trying to go all out. But I'm looking forward to this matchup when they do get a good 15-20 minutes and really tear the house down like these two are very much capable of doing. The next match of the evening sees Lash Legend of the Irresistible Forces going one on one with Chelsea Green. Chelsea does her best to fight on her own here, but as we saw before the match began, Tiffany was not having any of this, kind of a tag team or united front that Chelsea is convinced they have after losing earlier in the night to Jade, perhaps just kind of souring the mood for the evening. But you do have to wonder what could have happened had she been out there to support. But Lash takes care of business here and gets to win over Chelsea with a Lash extension. But yeah, you got to love this face Chelsea stuff. She just doesn't miss, and no matter what gimmick you give her, Chelsea hits it out of the park. So yeah, curious to see where they're going to go with that Chelsea Tiffany storyline as well. The main event of the evening is a first round King of the Ring match, the second of this tournament. This one featuring four different champions: Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, and Trick Williams himself. This is a pretty fun contest and main event, but similar to the women's side, each man kind of gets their own time to shine. Something very uncharacteristic from Braun Breaker, however, during this match, who seemed to be having a hard time doing pretty much anything. Things that have always seemed to come quite naturally for him. So hopefully it all is well with him. He saw a couple spots where he up on the ropes. He was shaking quite a bit. He tried to pick up, I think it was Trick Williams, maybe. And he was just really having a hard time doing that as well. So hopefully all is good with him. Maybe just a rough night or something, or maybe a bit dehydrated. I'm not sure. But definitely uncharacteristic from Braun Breaker. So with all that being said, the Judgment Day doing Judgment Day things here is how we do see the finish come to fruition. JD comes in to cause some interference, and then Liv finishes the job, landing a low blow on the former Judgment Day member himself, Damian Priest. Dominic capitalizes, hits a 619, and will advance to the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. Similar to the other Judgment Day member that advanced tonight on the Queen of the Ring side. Dom's going to have his hands quite full next round as he does get the ruler one-on-one. So, Obafemi, Dominic Mysterio, will be an interesting contest and interesting to see how they will book that one. But yeah, a fun main event here though, and although similar to the Queen of the Ring matchup, there really just wasn't a bad winner here. So no issues with the Dominic outcome here. But yeah, overall a fun episode of SmackDown. Not quite as good as Raw this week, but I am a huge fan of the turn of any tournament really, but especially that of the King of the Ring tournaments. Dom and Raquel from the Judgment Day both advancing throughout the evening and laying some more seeds. Liv has been doing so, so no issues with whatsoever with Dom and Oba match will be interesting. Like I said, to see how they move forward with that. And then the Io and Raquel match, not really a bad winner there either, but Io has had plenty of time to shine. You do feel, maybe I'm biased a bit, but you do feel Raquel has reached a point where they kind of just need to pull that trigger and see what happens. So, some other interesting developments around Rhea and her title, as well as Cody and his. So, also kind of interesting to see that MFT keeps gunning for Royce Keys. But yeah, that is your SmackDown recap. What did you make of this episode? What were your highlights, lowlights, and everything in between? Would love to hear from you in the comments below. And do you think the right winners came out of the King and the Queen of the Ring matches? Would love to hear from you as well on that. But yeah, for now, this has been this latest SmackDown recap and the latest episode of The Push with Nick and KP. If you like what we're putting out here, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. And keep an eye out for that brand new project we just started and just announced is the NXT PLE review project. We're going through every single NXT PLE. So be on the lookout for that soon. But until next time, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. We'll see you soon. Take care.